YouTube, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Look, we have an absolute banger for you today. A deleted Trump post, a furious White House, and a lobbying firm secretly pushing XRP into US policy. The real story, it's finally out, and it changes everything that you thought that you knew about crypto power structure. And we're going to start right here. This is where the earthquake began. A Truth Social post from Trump's official account. Not bullish Bitcoin, but we love crypto. No, it specifically mentioned XRP as part of something called the US Crypto Strategic Reserve. Immediately, right? Crypto Twitter exploded. The charts went through the roof. People started asking, why XRP? Why not Bitcoin? Why not something neutral? But the truth here, it's even crazier. Reports reveal that the post wasn't actually written by Trump. It was drafted by a Ballard Partners associate, a lobbying firm Ripple quietly hired just months earlier. The firm has deep Trump world connections and a long-standing influence inside the administration. Look, Ripple didn't just want the attention, they wanted alignment. They wanted policy level integration. And the fastest route, it was clear. It was through the people who shape presidential messaging. Trump posted, it goes live, millions see it in a matter of seconds. The XRP community goes absolutely nuke, and then the post gets deleted. Trump reportedly becomes furious. That's right. And then what happens, right? He learns who pushed the message out. He learned who pushed this message out that was tied to one of his corporate clients. And in this case, it was Ripple. But here's the key point, folks. Even though the post was deleted, the message was already sent and it was crystal clear. XRP went from an outsider asset to a presidentially acknowledged, something no other crypto has achieved in this way up until that point. This is where the dominoes started falling. But the next ones, they happen within the SEC. Folks, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let everyone out there know they need to come listen to this video. It is the ultimate way to support this channel, and make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. Now we move over to this. So we get all of that, right? Trump's account sends out this message, crypto goes up and it goes nuclear charts. I remember that day. I mean, it just kept running. But right after we get the Trump XRP post, incident goes down. The SEC announcement, we all remember it. This is when the SEC came out. They announced a settlement with a crypto company that has, surprise, surprise, ties back into the White House. Usually these settlements, they come with grandstanding. They come with press conferences, right? Victory laps. But this one, it was quiet. It was fast. Almost like someone, they just picked up a phone and made a call. But here's where it gets even stranger, because one of the SEC's own commissioners publicly slams the settlement, calling it a tremendous disservice, basically accusing the commission of bending at the knee, folks. That's right. You can't make this stuff up. One of the SEC's own commissioners publicly slammed the settlement. Interesting, right? Do you know how hard it is for the SEC commissioners to call out their own agencies publicly? That's not a disagreement. This is like a rebellion happening right in front of us. We are watching something like a civil war, right? They're going after each other. SECA versus SECB, or we say SEC North versus SEC South, right? See what I did there? So now we have a Trump-connected crypto firm getting an easy settlement, a commissioner throwing the red flag, trying to challenge this, and all of it is happening immediately after Trump gets tangled in an XRP lobbying maneuver here. These aren't isolated events, right? These are all puzzle pieces. And the next piece I'm about to show you, it's even bigger, right? The SEC drops the case against the firm that has ties to Trump. We're going to talk about this again because this gets deeper here. Because just weeks after the settlement, boom, another shock, right? The SEC drops yet another case, again, involving, you guessed it, a crypto company with close Trump world connections. Their CEO straight up said the case is done. The SEC, they walked away. And this is wild because crypto firms never get walkaways. Look at every other SEC lawsuit case that was out there, right? They all just gave a bunch of money to the SEC. They get fines, they get restriction, they get years of litigation. We've seen some exchanges who just packed up and left the US because they didn't want to deal with it. Bitfinex, used to be my favorite exchange out of Seattle, Washington. They just said, we're out of here, and they left. But here we have two Trump-linked crypto firms getting soft landings within weeks of each other. This tells us something unmistakable. The regulatory winds in the US are shifting. They're shifting fast, and they are shifting towards pro-crypto assets that align with the White House priorities. And this brings us back to Ballard Partners, because they just weren't shaping Trump's XRP message. Oh, no. They were doing way more. You don't believe me? Well, I got the proof right here. Ballard Partners, the same firm that was tied back to Trump's post that was heard around the world, they reportedly, pushed the idea here of including XRP in something called the United States of America Crypto Strategic Reserve. That's right. Think about the magnitude of that. A strategic reserve is normally reserved for oil, treasury assets, national security resources. So why XRP? And no one ever asked that question. Why XRP? Well, it's simple. I got the answer. Because Ripple made its move. Ballard's job wasn't just lobbying. It was strategic influence from the inside. They wanted XRP woven into the US financial planning at the highest level before the 2025 crypto policy wave hit Washington. Reports say that Ballard drafted messaging framing XRP as stable, institutional grade, the bridge asset for the US global settlement dominance, a geopolitical aligned alternative to China's central bank digital currency strategy. Trump hears this. It gets into his inner circle. And for one brief moment, XRP is positioned as part of America's national strategy. Something Bitcoin or Ethereum, well, they just never got. Sure, Trump got upset when he realized the political optics here, but the idea has already been planted its seed, right? Ripple's endgame becomes unavoidable. And the next section that I'm going to show you, this shows you exactly how they're doing it. Not just in the US, folks, but it is also happening over in the Middle East. That's right. Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD just got greenlisted over in Abu Dhabi. Your Middle East shift, it has begun. We're talking about compliance and trust. These are the two words that decide whether a blockchain project touches institutional finance or it dies trying. And Ripple just hit the milestone that most people don't actually understand how big this is, right? RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, officially greenlisted by Abu Dhabi's FSRA. That's not a simple listing. This is a door into one of the most powerful financial corridors on earth. What does green listing actually mean? Well, let me break it down. It means that RLUSD can be used as collateral. It can be used for lending. It can be used for prime brokerage. It can be used in exchange operations. And last but not least, interbank settlement inside of ADGM. You never heard those letters before? This is one of the most respectable financial centers in the entire Middle East. And here's where this all connects back to Washington. The Middle East, especially the UAE, has become a bridge between US fintech and global liquidity flows. The White House watches every move very carefully, especially when it comes to settlement technology. So now Ripple, they got US political access, they got Middle Eastern regulatory approval, they have a compliant dollar-backed settlement asset, and real adoption pipelines opening across global financial hubs. This is your exact blueprint that you would expect from a company who is preparing to operate at a nation state level. And if that wasn't enough, Ripple isn't just interacting here with regulators and lobbyists anymore. The White House itself is now stepping onto Ripple's turf. And that's going to bring us to the moment where the White House joined Ripple Swell this year. Now, folks, If you're not part of my free crypto newsletter yet, well, now's the time. You should take a little break, hit the link below, enter your email. It is a two-factor email, so you will get a confirmation email sent to you, and you need to click the link to opt in. If you don't have a one-on-one call booked with me yet, now's the time to do it. That link is down below as well. This is a personalized call just made for you. If you're looking for tax structure and exit plans, if you possibly can get an OTC, how to get your business set up. That is what these calls are made for. Hit that link down below. Now let's get back to this story because this is crazy. This is where everything's going to go from interesting to historic. It is now confirmed that the White House, specifically senior officials from the President's Council on Digital Assets, that they will attend Ripple's 2025 Swell event. And what just happened? They did go to the event, right? And they spoke with Brad Garlinghouse. Let me put this into perspective for you what this means. The White House never made a move like this for a private crypto company before. It's not normal. It's not just because, and it's not symbolic. This is a signal, a very clear signal, a signal that Ripple is no longer being viewed as a startup fintech company or even just a crypto company. They are being viewed as a global settlement operator, a strategic infrastructure player, a potential backbone for the US digital asset policy, and a compliant first alternative to foreign blockchain influence. Now, when the US government shows up at your conference, you're not just in the room, folks. You are the room. And that leads us into our final section, the one that ties this all together, because when you zoom out, Ripple's not just making moves, they are embedding themselves inside the machinery of US power, which brings us over to Mr. Grok. And we asked Mr. Grok about all this because I couldn't freaking believe it when I heard it, man. Let's connect all the threads because this is where the story becomes undeniable. Up first, you can see it right here. Ripple hired one of the most connected Trump world lobbying firms, a Ballard associate who drafted the XRP post for Trump. The scandal blew up. The White House blamed Ballard temporarily, but the damage or the influence, it was already done. This revealed that Ripple's willingness to play in presidential politics, which gets us over to your second point. Ripple's massive donations and White House access. $5 million to Trump's inaugural committee, funding the White House's ballroom innovation, of $45 million into the Fair Shake PAC, and access to private policy meetings. Now, you don't make these types of donations, everyone, unless you want one thing, and that one thing is a seat at the table. Ripple, they didn't just get a seat, they bought the whole booth, right? Which leads us to this, CEO's Brad Garlinghouse and his meeting with Trump. Garlinghouse wasn't sending lobbyists. He was sitting with the president personally himself, right? They were posting photos, attending the crypto summit, and joining the advisory councils. This is not normal crypto behavior. This is a nation state level influence. And that brings us into the good old lawsuit, March 2025, the long running SEC case. Poof, it's gone. May 2025, Ripple recovers $75 million from a prior fine. An SEC commissioner called the deal a disservice. You know what that is? Political gravity. Regulators don't shift this fast unless something big is shifting under the ground beneath them. And then we got White House participation in Ripple's Swell event. Let's look at a big picture here. Ripple's positioned itself as 1, US-aligned settlement layer. Number 2, the compliant institution-ready asset in a world of regulatory chaos. Number 3, the Middle East approved bridge currency. Number 4, the politically connected player in Washington. And 5th, but not last, the only blockchain company with White House presence and global regulatory alignment. You can love XRP, you can hate XRP, but you know what? You can't ignore what is happening. Ripple is no longer fighting for survival. Ripple is fighting for dominance. And based on everything we have seen, they might already be winning, folks. This is huge. This is the playbook of a crypto company positioning itself not as crypto, but as the digital backbone for the next monetary era. You are watching this shift happen all in real time. And guess what? The people who understand it the earliest are the ones who stand to gain the most when the dust settles. If you want more deeper dives on these power plays, smash that like button for me. Drop your theories in the comments below and subscribe to the channel, because guess what? The next chapter in this story, it's coming fast.